What's good? What's good? What's good? NFL YouTube Nation. Let's see who pulls up. Let me know y'all can hear me all right. If you can see me, see who pulls up. Testing a new system. YouTube ain't notifying nobody, so see if this works. I don't know. What's good, man? We are gonna break down the Raiders' odds, what they need for winning. Not my perspective, but somebody else's. Because yesterday, you know, it was all about somebody else's perspective. I mean, all my perspective, never somebody else's. Grim, what's good? First in the building. Yes, sir, you are. Yes, sir, you are. How is your day going, my brother? How is your day going? Are you ready for the Seahawks opening day? Who y'all play? The 49ers? Y'all play the 49ers week one, Grim? I don't have the schedule in front of me. I probably should have looked a little bit more. But yeah, man, what's going on? Shout out to everybody. We have some interesting things to talk about and how I feel the Raiders can win. But I may be the only one, except for Raider Nation, right? Odds makers, bro. Odds makers are rough with the Raiders, man. They are rough. Very, very rough. Not much helping Candy mod at the same time. Nice, nice. Yeah, I know she was live, but it's all good. So, we have some things to talk about, man. Let's just get into it. The Las Vegas Raiders, of course, heading to Gillette Stadium to take on the New England Patriots, who they have not won in Gillette Stadium since, I believe, 2002. That is absolutely wild. However, we have won the last two games at home against the Patriots, which is, a little bit of a good sign. But the bad signs are the Patriots are minus 2.5 point favorites. We talked about that yesterday. The over and under for this game, I had us 26-24, right? That puts us at what, 48 points? Well, their over and under is 43.5. So if you're a betting man, you might want to take the under. However, when you look at the Patriots offense, when you look at Travion Henderson, when you look at Drake May, when you look at the young and up and coming receivers he has to work with, this could be a high scoring game, right? They have injury report we will get into later, but they have some injuries that could really help the Las Vegas Raiders and Geno Smith. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. However, of course, 1 p.m. in Foxborough. Predictions, and we'll just get into this right away, and then we'll read some comments and get out of here. I'm not going to be on here for 2.5 hours tonight. I tried to edit some videos. I got part of the way through. It's taken me forever with this back issue, but I will get it out before the game. So the Raiders versus the Patriots prediction from an AI model who has been pretty damn good all year last year when they started using this AI model. So again, if you like to dally in try to get a little extra money at the, during the season, then you might want to check out this AI model, bro. But this AI model, the winning team model has predicted the Patriots will win this game by 63.8%. That's a massive number. That's a massive number. Do they know something we don't know? Because with the injury report that came out that we'll talk about in just a minute, stay tuned, we'll get into that. But that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy to me. 63.8% that the Patriots beat the Raiders. 2.5 point favorites. The Raiders Patriots spread prediction based on the recent based on recent against the spread trends, the model predicts the Raiders will cover the spread with 64.4% confidence. So, again, shout out to GeoMex, shout out to Candy, shout out to Joanna, everybody else in the building. You accidentally swallowed a $20 bill? Don't worry, you'll shit it out. Just clean it up. You'll be good, bro. You'll be good. I'm just saying. Um, yeah, wash it off, throw it in the dryer. Shit, it's money, bro. You'll be good. Just don't tell nobody you shit it out, because that'll probably be a problem. Um, so the Raiders are predicted to cover the spread. 64.4% confidence. The prediction against the spread factors in the ATS performance for both teams, opening and current betting lines, with the process of the public sharp money already wagered on this match. So they're going off already a lot of people's predictions, the money that's been placed on these predictions. Um, so they have highlighted some of their favorite props. Like I said, in case you're a betting man, for the Raiders game, looking at a profitable historical betting trend. Okay, well, we will see. Bet Raider player props. This is not good. This is not good. Geno Smith has hit the passing attempts under in 10 of his last 11 games. Ten of his last 11 games? I think the over and under was 221, 208 or 221, I want to say. 221. So, if he can't cover the 221, and don't quote me on that, we'll look it up here in a second. But 10 out of the last 11 games, that is a plus 8.95%, 70% ROI, which is absolutely ridiculous, bro. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, I know he had a horrible offensive line last year. I mean, we all know. But we don't know what this offensive line is, right? We don't know what the running game is going to be yet. We don't know what the rookies are going to do. And there's a lot of them on this team. So, you know, what else? Austin Hooper for the Patriots, former Raider, has hit on the receptions over in 10 of his last 11 games, 78% ROI, which is pretty outstanding. But if you look at Austin Hooper's numbers, over and under, they're usually like 4 catches, 5 catches. So, you know, 4 or 5 catches, bro, it is what it is. And we'll get to the odds here in a bit. Like I said, we'll break it down. First touchdown. Anybody want to guess? Who is y'all's first touchdown? Before I read this, I'll let y'all go. I'm going to take a drink. But who do you feel will score the first touchdown of the game? Geno will make his point in large targets to Jacoby Myers in order for Myers to get an extension. My prediction, Myers 7 catches, 101 yards with a touchdown. Talk that truth, Geno Mex. And I talked about it in my live a couple weeks ago, right? I said, if I was the quarterback and I had a guy like Jacoby Myers who didn't drop any passes last year, who had 1,000 yards for the first time ever in his career, with Gardner Minshew, with Aiden O'Connell, with Carter Bradley, and with Ritter throwing him the ball. So if I'm Geno Smith, I'm doing everything I can to make sure Jacoby Myers stands out, to make sure he gets his targets, so he can prove to the Raiders that, man, you can't afford to let him go. Now, if it's over 20 million, maybe possibly you can afford to let him go. But if it's not, Furpo in the building. Welcome to the membership. Um, I like it on here because it shows me my members. Crazy. We gotta get GeoMX a member. What the hell? Um, Samir will get the first touchdown. I like that. I like that. We talked about it yesterday. I think that would be a pretty solid bet. But with him, if he's the second running back, I think it's pretty good chances. Favorite Raider of all time? My favorite Raider of all time? Man, that's so hard, bro. I have so many. Uh, when I was a kid, it was obviously Plunkett because they won a Super Bowl when I was 8. But man, guys like Howie Long, Otto, Lyle Alzado, um, bro, there's so many. Tim Brown, Charles Woodson. I don't know. I could go on and on and on and on. If you wore the silver and black, you were probably my favorite, unless you sucked ass. Chewy, what's good? What's good, my guy? All right, man. So, first touchdown odds. And if you bet and follow my guy GeoMX advice, man, it wouldn't take much, like probably $5. $5 and maybe a 3-teamer. But if you put that on your 3-teamer, you would absolutely quadruple your money if you pick Zamir White to be the first touchdown. Ashton Genty is 5 plus 550. Ramondre, I always say his name wrong. Ramondre Stevenson, the fumble master, is 7 plus 700, and Travion Henderson plus 700. Now, if I was a betting man, and sometimes I am, I think Travion Henderson, with our run defense, right, with the questions we have on defense, if they get the ball first, could be a very good take at plus 700. I'm just saying. Raiders props, total receiving yards for the Patriots. So, let me know how y'all feel about this. Stefan Diggs, over 48.5 or under? What do y'all got? And tomorrow, I will be breaking down some picks I did on Underdog Fantasy. Pull up, check it out. I got to get all my information correct before I could pitch it to anybody. Well, Stephon Diggs, 48.5 yards. Higher? Over or under, man? Over or under? Higher or lower? Nobody? Over, we don't got any corners? Okay. Well, more than likely, it's going to be Eric Stokes and DeCamarion Richardson. So both of y'all got the over. All right. Brock Bowers, 63.5. Over or under? How about them Chiefs? How about them? They're pretty good. They're pretty fucking good. What y'all got, man? Woo. Shift. That truck needs to shift. Under slightly? Under 63.5? Well, let me ask you this. Who's going to be covering him? Because I told y'all I have some injury news that is huge for the Las Vegas Raiders, if you've seen the title. And it's Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez is questionable for the game. He is dealing with an injury. He hasn't been practicing much. It's a nagging injury that's been messing with him for a minute. So, if Christian Gonzalez can't go, which my pick to cover Brock Bowers was Christian Gonzalez. I felt if the Patriots had any chance to stop our offense or to slow it down, you would have to put Christian Gonzalez or who's the other corner they just got? but I don't think he can cover Brock Bowers. You pretty much have to put Christian Gonzalez on Brock Bowers one-on-one so you don't have to double him. And force the other guys to make plays like Trey Tucker, who I believe is going to have a huge game. We'll get to that here in a little bit. So Brock Bowers, 63.5. Said slightly under. Diggs will get a fourth quarter garbage yards, and he will finish with about 86 yards. You say Brock Bowers over the hamburger. Nice. I hope we hold him to under 100. I hope we hold him to 100. And I say, stay tuned for Raiders. If this happens, the Raiders should win without a doubt. And it's a big ask, right? It hasn't happened in the last 9 games on pretty much every one of them. So we'll get to them in a minute. But y'all think slightly under? One says over. So we have one over, one under for Brock Bowers. I think Stephon Diggs, I think he goes over 48. Actually, I don't. I'm going to pick the under. I'm going to take Stephon Diggs under 48. Because I think if we could shut him down and we could shut Travion Henderson down, I think it'll make a big, big difference. A big, big difference. Bowers about 65 yards and a touchdown. So you take the over as well. All right. Make sure to hit those like buttons. Yes, please hit the like buttons. I need all the help I could get. And why did I just turn that off? All right, so the next one is Jacoby Myers, which I already know Geo Mex's answer to this. Jacoby Myers, 51.5, over or under? I'm going to take the over. I think he definitely goes over 51.5. I think Brock Bowers goes over 63.5 because I don't think you could stop him. And even if he gets 5 catches, I think that's worth 63 yards, 64 yards, right? In my opinion. So Jacoby Myers, like I said, y'all can chime in or not chime in. Rondé Stevenson, 9 yards receiving, over or under? 9.5. 9.5. I'm gonna say the under. I don't think he gets over 9.5 because they have Travion Henderson, and I think if they're gonna pass the ball, you would be stupid to pass it to a guy that is nowhere near the hands of Travion Henderson. The speed maybe, but to me, I think Travion Henderson gets a lot more carries than people are thinking. All right, so the next prop is total rushing yards, Patriots versus the Raiders. They have Stevenson over 43.5 or under 43.5. It's all good. I'm going to take the under. Because I feel like Travion Henderson is going to take some carries away from this man. So if it was me, I'm going to take the under. The Raiders' best bets. Las Vegas Raiders have hit the third quarter game total under in their last 5 games. Don't bet that. Do not bet that. I'm telling you right now. Don't bet that. Don't bet that. Pete Carroll is a third quarter team. Have always been a third quarter team. They always seem to come out hot from what I've seen at the half, right? I don't know what he says in his halftime speeches, but I'm just saying. Raiders fans, you guys still believing? Every year is our year. Every year is a new year. You start 0, 0, and 0. I mean, why not? 4-13. with 27th ranked defense. Okay, okay. Some people have us the 31st ranked defense already. I'm going to go lower on that, and I'm going to flip that around. I'm going to say 12-5. I've been saying 12-5. I think Pete Carroll makes a big difference on this team, and I think people are underestimating what a difference that a coach with a blueprint of winning, with a coach that knows how to make it to the playoffs, with a coach who has won since 2014 every single one of his home openers. I'm just saying. So, with that little tidbit, there's no way we lose. There's no way we only win 4 games. There's no way. No way in hell. Even if Kenny Pickett has to come in and play. there's no way, bro. No way. All right, so the Las Vegas Raiders, like I said, have hit the under in the third quarter in their last 5 games. That is an 84% ROI, which is flipping crazy. The Las Vegas Raiders have hit the fourth quarter money line in 5 of their last 8 away games. That might be a good little prop there. Good little prop to throw in. Have hit the money line in 5 of their last away games. So don't bet on that because you're betting on the Raiders to lose, right? 43.5? Yeah, probably not. Let's not take that. The Las Vegas Raiders have hit on the fourth quarter game total in 11 of their last 17 games. Raiders have hit in the fourth quarter game total in 17 of their last 11 of 17 games. Okay. So, if you're a betting man at halftime, Jack Kenna, what's good? You know, if you get bored at halftime because the Raiders are blowing out the Patriots and you want something to do, go over there, make a prop, bet on the Raiders fourth quarter total. The Las Vegas Raiders have covered the third quarter spread in their last 4 away games. The Las Vegas Raiders have also hit on the second quarter money line in 4 of their last 7 games. Which, if you go back and look at 4 of their last 7 games in the money line like I did, yeah, it's nothing to brag about. It's nothing to brag about whatsoever. The Patriots, now this is interesting. The Patriots have covered the fourth quarter spread in 9 of their last 10 games. So, with a new coach, with more physicality, a coach that's going to make this team believe in each other, believe in themselves, kind of like Pete Carroll's going to do on the other side. That's a pretty solid number. Now, I don't know what the fourth quarter spread was in 9 of their last 10 games, but more than likely it was for them to lose because they didn't win any games. So we'll go with that. The New England Patriots have hit the game total over in 8 of their last 9 games at home. Okay, so that's good for my prediction, right? That's good for my prediction. The total was 43.5. I predicted us to win 26-24, so, that's looking a little bit better. Raiders. What else? The Las Vegas Raiders have hit... Oh, wait, that's the Raiders. What am I doing? The New England Patriots have hit on their first quarter money line in 6 of their last 11 games. The New England Patriots have also hit on their fourth quarter money line in 5 of their last 10 games. The New England Patriots have also hit on the team total over in 7 of their last 9 home games. So, again, total over is 43.5 points. So, if you're a betting man, Raider Ryan, what's good? Appreciate you pulling up. if you're a betting man, you definitely, definitely want to pay attention to some of these numbers because that's a pretty solid. I mean, both of those last two stats were pretty solid, right? Um, the Raiders against the spread record this NFL season, the Raiders were 0-3, 100%. Damn, 0-3 against the spread. The Raiders are 0-2 when betting on the money line for minus 3.8 units. Which, if you bet on the money line or the over and under, you're crazy as hell. If you've ever bet on a Raiders game, you should know damn well that is not what you bet. Bet on players. Bet on some props. Bet on something different. That is not what you're trying to go with. The Raiders are 2-1 when betting the over for 0.9 units, which is a 27.1 ROI. The Raiders are 1-2 when betting the under. So if you think the Raiders are going under, no. If you think the Patriots are going under, basically no. So what they're saying is this game more than likely is going to go over 43.5 points. But whose way? GeoMex says 31-22. Sorry, not responding much in my own stream. No, you're good, man. You're good. Do your thing. Do your thing. All right, the Patriots against the spread. And these numbers mean something. If you think they don't mean anything, you're absolutely crazy, bro, because these numbers mean an awful lot, right? These are numbers consistently, over time, and some of them might not mean anything because we have a new quarterback, we have a new defense, right? But it's still the Raiders. It's still the Raiders. The Patriots are 2-1 against the spread. The Patriots are 2-1 when betting the money line. The Patriots are 2-1 when betting the over, and the Patriots are 1-2 when betting the under. So basically, do not bet the under in this game. The Las Vegas Raiders keys to victory. We won't get into that yet. All right, some key facts. Some key facts that we need to know. I forgot to mention yesterday. The New England Patriots defense was fourth in the NFL in passing yards given up per game. $500. What? You didn't lend me nothing, bro. I don't know what you got, bro. You lend me shit. I ain't never borrowed money from nobody, kid. All right, so notes we need to know for this game, and these are big notes, right? The Patriots had a third down conversion rate of 8.3 on third down, 10 plus YTG in the last 4 weeks of the regular season, fifth worst in the NFL. The Raiders defense, on the other hand, allowed a third down conversion rate of 6.7 on third down. In the last 4 weeks of the regular season, guess what that was? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to take a guess? Fourth in the NFL. Fourth in the NFL. Now, I know you can look at the last 4 games and be like, yeah, but who did they play, right? Who did they play? I don't know. But that's impressive. That's impressive, right? Let me repeat that. The Raiders defense allowed a third down conversion rate of only 6.7% on third downs. That's a plus 10 YTG in the last 4 games of the regular season, fourth best in the NFL. Now, we lost a lot of those players, but I feel this defense has a chance to be better than last year's. I really, really do. We have way more speed in the backfield. We have way more length. We have way more physicality. And if you're not physical on the back end, the last line of defense, people, man, you're going to get cooked. You're going to get cooked. Marcus Banks, what's good? What it do? What it do? AFC West is the best in the league. It's going to be tough for the Raiders. We need depth. It's Reezy. What's good? What's good? Dropping the Reezy shit. I feel you. I feel you. We definitely need depth. All right, other notes. Patriots tight end averaged 9.4 yards per game last season. That's right. Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, 9.4 yards a catch. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem for Landon Roberts. It's going to be a big, big problem for Jermaine Pratt. And it's going to be a bigger problem for Devin White. Now, how much is Jamal Adams going to play? We talked about it yesterday. I think with those numbers, it should be a lot more. A lot more. I would like to see him get like 60% of the snaps or more for Jamal Adams. Like literally. Because we've talked about, Pete Carroll bringing in the cover 3, making Patrick Graham, change up his defense to a cover 3. And I think it's going to be a big, big factor because you're making linebackers. You don't want any of these linebackers covering anywhere behind them. You want all the covers to be in front of them. Sideline to sideline, trying to cover Travion Henderson and Stevenson. It's going to be a problem for these linebackers. It's going to be a huge, huge problem. So, that is 5th highest in the NFL. The Raiders allowed 6.0 receptions per game to the tight ends last season. That is 5th worst in the NFL. So you would think a team that gets to practice with Brock Bowers, a team that goes up against Brock Bowers every single day in practice would be a lot better at defending tight ends. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Now, with Jamal Adams, with Jeremy Chin, with guys like that in the building, I believe those numbers changed. And if they don't, we're in for a long-ass game and a long-ass season. Just being real. Just being real. The Patriots tight ends had 113 receptions in 17 games. 6.6 per game last season. 5th best in the NFL. The Raiders allowed... did I just read that? No, that's the same stat. Yeah, 5th worst in the NFL. We know that. The Raiders had a third down conversion rate of just 6.9 on third downs last season. Worst in the NFL. Now, we know we had no run game, right? We know the quarterback struggled. The offensive line struggled. We know all this. We know all this. Gio says, facts, I don't care if we win by 1 field goal, but love scoring all the fucking touchdowns. Stop accepting 3-point wins. I mean, I don't know if we're accepting them, but I think, if that's the way you win the game, that's the way you win the game, right? We can't always win by 3 touchdowns, although I would like to see us win by 3 touchdowns every game this year. But, it's not realistic. It's not realistic. But we would damn sure hope so. And I really feel like it's going to come down to a lot of field goals this year. I mean, if you think about it, our defense is supposedly supposed to struggle. Our offense is supposed to score a lot of points. If our defense struggles, that means the other team's going to score a lot of points. We play, some decent quarterbacks and some decent offenses with some problems. And we have Eric Stokes. Damn it. I was going to talk about that today. Well, we'll do it tomorrow. We have Eric Stokes, who has to cover 17 receivers in the NFL that are all pretty nasty, bro. Pretty nasty receivers. The Raiders had a third down conversion rate. I got that. Patriots defense allowed a third down. Wait, the Raiders had Third down conversion rate of 6.9 on third down last season, worst in the NFL. The Patriots allowed a third down conversion rate of just 8.7 on third down last season, best in the NFL. So we're talking about a Patriots defense that got better with K'Lavon Chasen, that got better with Robert Spillane, that got better with who else they get? Milden. This is a defense that got better in a lot of key positions that they were already 5th and 4th best in the NFL. It's not good, man. This is not good. The Raiders threw the ball 10 yards or less 74%, 74.8% last season. You can't win like that. Now, if Geno and this offense with Chip Kelly does not turn that number around, the Raiders do not win any games this year. And whoever said 4-13, it could be a possibility. It could be a possibility. If we do not change those numbers have to dramatically change, bro. Like that is, golly, bro. That is horrible. That is horrible. 74.8% of the time, the Raiders threw the ball less than 10 yards. That is third highest in the NFL. The Patriots allowed 6.7 yards per dropback on attempts between 1 and 10 yards. Third worst in the NFL. So, for those that just said, 31-13, 38 to whatever, 43-7, realistically, for the Raiders to win this game, they have to do what they just said they were, third in the NFL at. They're going to have to throw the ball less than 10 yards. That means you're going to have to get Brock on some quick slants, on some comeback routes, on some drag routes, right? On some heel routes. Because according to these stats, if you try to throw the ball deep on the Patriots, they had the fourth best yards given up in the NFL last year. A team that was 4-13. Or wait, what were they? 4-13, 2-15. What the hell were they last year? But they were very, very bad. They were very, very, very bad. So looking at those numbers, man, that's bad. That's bad. The Raiders' offense, important stats. The Raiders had a third down conversion rate of 7% on third down, on 3rd and 10 yards to go last season, worst in the NFL. The league average is 18%. Ours was 7%, bro. 7%. House Junkies, what's good? What's good? Next, the Raiders ran successful plays on 32% of rushing attempts on motion plays last season. Worst in the NFL. The league average, 44%. We were 12 off of the league average. I know, it's a new regime. We're just going off of last year. What we need to change. The Raiders are averaging 15.5 drives per touchdown in the third quarter since 2023. Worst drive per rate in the NFL. League average, 5.4. 5.4. We were 15.5. That's 10.1 difference. That's bad, bro. That's bad. Well, I mean, we shall see. We shall see. All right. Last but not least for this, the Raiders ran successful plays on 35% of their rushing attempts last season. second worst in the NFL. League average, 43%. The Raiders, 35%. So, Ashton Genty, Raheem Mostert, Zamir White, a different offensive line is going to make all the difference in the world. I think these numbers change. Let's get to the Patriots stats, because their team hasn't changed a whole lot, right? The Patriots averaged just 0.5 yards per play on first drives of the game in the last 4 weeks of the regular season. Worst in the NFL. League average is 5.8. They were 0.5. That's on opening drives. So, shout out Kyla Western. Boo, Eagles. So on the opening drive, if you're picking any Patriot players, you might want to rethink that. You might want to rethink that just a little bit. All right, the Patriots went 3 and out on 59% of their drives in the first quarter in the first 4 weeks of the regular season. Worst in the NFL. League average, 23%. Damn. Now, Mike Vrabel is going to turn this team around completely, right? It's going to be night and day. Hit them likes, get them likes up. I appreciate y'all. All right, the Patriots targeted wide receivers 28% of the time, 18 pass attempts, slash 65 plays in the red zone last season. Second lowest in the NFL. The league average is 54. Now, they didn't have Drake May the whole season. He only, came in and played towards the end of the season or middle of the season, whatever. So, the Patriots started 16 drives inside their own 20. Inside their own 20 in the last 4 weeks of the regular season. Tied for most in the NFL. So they have a whole bunch of things that they have to overcome in this game, right? In this game. So, the Las Vegas Raiders defense important stats. Now, these are in stats, obviously, that are important. It says right in the title. Important defensive stats. So, I'm just saying. The Raiders defense allowed successful plays on 56% of their passing attempts. Open coverage last season. Second best in the NFL. League average, 61%. It's a good fact to know. The Raiders defense, we still have Patrick Graham, remember. The Raiders defense allowed 0.19 EPA per play against play action last season, fourth worst in the NFL. You know damn well the Patriots and Josh McDaniels are going to run the hell out of the football. So these stats need to clean up for us very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. The defense allowed just 4.1 yards per play on contested throws since 2023. Second best in the NFL. League average, 5.3. But we lost all those corners. We don't have none of those corners. So, just throwing that out there. Patriots defense, important stats, because their defense, besides their safeties, Robert Spillane and, Caleb Von Chasen, their defense is pretty much the same. Patriots going to win 82-4. We're going to get 2 safeties? Wait, 2 safeties? 2 safeties? That's crazy, bro. The Raiders defense allowed 0.33 EPR. I read all that, didn't I? Second best in the NFL. Yeah, I read that. 30% of the plays ran against the Patriots were in the red zone in the first quarter. In the last 4 games of the regular season, worst in the NFL. League average, 14%. They were 38%. So, to think any one of these teams are going to come out after new offensive coordinators, new defensive coordinators, both having new coaches, new quarterbacks, and they're just going to tear it up, I don't see that happening. Patriots defense allowed .27 EPA per play against play action passes last season, worse than the NFL. League average is .9. All right, so I've been on here 45 minutes. Nice. I'm starving. Let me go get some food. All right, so last but not least, why are my notes moving around? We'll start with the Patriots. Keys to victory for the Patriots. Dame May is going to get crushed and knocked out of the game. Let's go. Let's go. Talk that shit. Talk that shit. Pates have 4 new offensive linemen, 2 rookies. Max is going to feast on right tackle Moses. I believe that too. I believe that too. But the problem with that is if they run a lot of play action because they have 3 decent running backs, right? And Drake May has a quick release. He doesn't need 3 seconds to throw the ball. He doesn't even need 2.5. If they come out with their first scripted plays hot, it could be a problem. It could be a problem. Our linebackers cannot cover. So no matter how fast Max gets to the quarterback or anybody else gets to the quarterback, Malcolm Kuntz or any of these defensive linemen, they're still going to have time to get the ball off. And when you have guys like Travion Henderson in the backfield that you can run screens to or slants or, heel route, dig routes, anything out of the backfield, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for us. Simply because our linebackers, unless they show they can cover inside of 15 yards, it's going to be a problem. So, keys to the game. First, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Patriots are winless, 0-5, when allowing more than 5 yards per rush since 2023, tied for worst in the NFL. Talk that shit. So, if the Raiders can average 5 yards a carry, which so far Ashton Genty's averaging 3 yards a carry. But this is the key. This is the key to that. New England starting running back out. Hendricks is now starting. Oh, man. If Henderson's starting, that's going to be a flipping problem, bro. If he gets 20-plus touches with a defense that can't stop the run and linebackers that can't cover the pass, man, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Good thing Travion Henderson is on my fantasy team. Just fucking with y'all. So, if the Raiders can average 5 yards a carry, and this is big because, like I said, Ashton Genty averaged only 3 yards a carry in the preseason. However, he only carried the ball a couple times. When you have Ashton Genty smacking you over and over and over and over and over again for 4 quarters, you're going to wear out the defense. And I think the 3rd and 4th quarter is where Ashton Genty, makes his noise. So, 5 yards a carry. The Patriots are 0-5 since 2023. That is a damn good key to victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Patriots are winless, 0-5, when committing 60 or more yards in penalties last season, tied for worst in the NFL. The league average, .440. So, if we can cause them to make mistakes, which I guarantee you, that offensive line with a rookie left guard, with a rookie left tackle, are going to make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. They're going to make mistakes. So, when you have a young offensive line with a Max Crosby, with his speed and his get-off, when you have the quickness of Malcolm Kuntz on the other side, it's going to force these guys to jump. It's going to force them to false start. It's going to force them to hold, right? So, damn good stat for us. Number 3, keys to the game. The Patriots are 1-7, 1.25, when allowing 5 or more explosive passing plays last season, worse than the NFL. Now, when you have Brock flippin' Bowers, when you have Jacoby flippin' Myers, when you have Trey Tucker, and don't let me forget about Trey Tucker, my prediction for Trey Tucker in this game. Um, and then you have Dante Thornton with his speed, his size. I believe this is not a number that cannot be accomplished. 5 or more explosive plays. Ashton Genty gets 2 of those. I'm calling it right now. Ashton Genty has 2 explosive plays, which is what, over 10 yards? I'm going to say over 20. I think he has 2 plays are over 10. Let's go over 10. But 2 explosive plays from Ashton Genty. I think Brock Bowers has at least 1 minimum. Probably 2 or 3. It's Brock flipping Bowers, bro. It's Brock Bowers. It's Brock Bowers. So I believe 5 explosive plays on the Patriots is very doable. It's very, very doable. The Patriots are winless again. So in all 3 of these stats, they are 0-5, 0-5, 1-7, and now 0-6 when allowing 250 or more passing yards last season, worse than the NFL. League average 4.15. Such rough average. Prediction: Genty will have a better debut than Travion Henderson. Okay. I'm not even gonna comment on that. Okay. I'm praying. I said earlier, Raiders running game is going to be difficult. Genty versus Spillane and Elliott. Remember the Raiders tried to get Elliott, but Pats actually paid more. Exactly, 100%. And I'm glad you brought that up because we all remember the collision with Robert Spillane. If you don't, you should, right? The collision with Robert Spillane against Travis Henry, you know, Robert Spillane said he was couldn't see, right? He was blacked out. He was seeing white, had a concussion, but he stayed in the game. He didn't want to let nobody know, right? He was relying on his players to tell him where to go. He said he couldn't even see the next player too. So that's a ridiculous hit. With Ashton Genty wanting to lower his shoulder and run guys over, Robert Spillane is not a guy you want to try. Katie, what's good? Appreciate you. Send love back. Robert Spillane is not a guy. The Mad Hatter, appreciate you from Candy Unlocked. Is not a guy you want to try to run over. Robert Spillane is going to wreck your world and knock the soul out of your flipping body if you want to try to go head up with that dude. So, not a scenario that we want to try to mess with. However, 250 more or more passing yards, the Patriots are 0-6. It doesn't say when, but that's a good number, right? That's a good number. I believe Geno has over 250 passing yards. I'm going to say that right now, and simply because we just talked about it, the Patriots last year were the 4th best team, gave up the 4th least amount of yards passing, but they also gave up an absolute dog that was their best cover corner on the whole entire team, in Jabril Peppers. So not having Peppers in the game, not having Christian Gonzalez, who is injured, Craig Woods, their starting safety that's supposed to take Peppers' place, is also dealing with a hamstring injury. So he is questionable. Rosetown, what's good? Appreciate you. So those are 4 keys to victory. Now on the other side, man, on the other end of the spectrum, right? And I made it a note, right? I made it a note to say, The Patriots were 0-5, 0-5, 1-7, and 0-6. Well, my friends, it doesn't get any better for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders, key to victory. And as you've seen in the title, in the bottom of the thumbnail, it said, the Raiders will win the game if this happens. Write it down, mark my words, come hit me up in the comments afterwards. I will be live before the game, after the game. I said I would be live for the Raiders games this year, but I really don't think I can do it. I cuss too much, I scream too much. I won't pay attention to any of the comments. I have to focus on Raider football. So if I do, I won't be paying attention to the comments. I'll just be on there yelling and talking shit. But if you want to pull up, you're more than welcome. It just depends on how I'm feeling. But the way it went last year, you know, having 3 or 4 people in there in my lives, trying to pay attention to them. Are you black? Yeah, I'm black. Fuck you talking about, clown? So keys to victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders were 1-9 when allowing 100 or more rushing yards last season. Tied for worst in the NFL, bro. 1-9. 1-9. This defense could or could not be better than they were last year. But 1-9 is a flipping problem. An absolute problem. Ripping and flipping. The Raiders were also should be 7-0 with Aiden O'Connell when they ran for over 100 yards, but that don't matter. He's hurt. So the Raiders are 1-9 when when allowing 100 yards rushing or more. That is not a good stat for us. That is not a good stat for us at all whatsoever. We can't stop the run. We have a problem stopping the run. We brought in 4 linebackers, 1 a former safety, to try to stop the run this year, and it's going to be a big problem for us. Hopefully we can. All right, so if the Raiders can hold the Patriots to under 100 yards, they win. Wheezy Zipper, what's good, what's good? Zipperer or zipper? Zipperer. All right, my bad. Run for fun, throw for dough. Gladdy Raider, what it do? Man, I didn't get enough people to join the fantasy league, so there will be no $25 fantasy unless I could get like 10 people to sign up right here, right now. I will send you the link if you want to get in. We will do a draft first thing in the morning, but I couldn't get enough people. I didn't promote it enough. I didn't have enough time. So if you wanted to join my fantasy league, I'm sorry. It was $25 a head. You would have had a chance to win, you know, $350 or more. But, you know, it is what it is. So, keys to victory. The Raiders are winless, 0-9, when allowing 27 or more points last season. Tied for worst in the NFL. So, I predicted this game to go 26-24. The Raiders win by a last-second field goal. The Patriots come down and score in the 4th quarter to take the lead, right? 23-24. But they leave too much time on the clock. And Gino cleans up. The Raiders have to hold them to under 27 points. They have to. We have to. The first game of the season, you have to come out and make a statement. You have to come out and make a statement right off the rip. Because if you don't, you're going to get in your own heads. This defense is going to get in their own heads. And Raider Nation is going to be yelling and screaming, you know, causing ruckus. And I know. This team plays better when we're all together. When we're all together, a Raider Nation as one, believing in the same goal and the same purpose. When we're talking shit about the players, when we're talking shit, you know, about everything else that's going on, I feel like the team sees it, right? The team sees it. They feel it. They feel the vibe. Whether you want to believe it or not, right? A lot of players probably don't watch this channel, but they watch other channels. You know, they watch bigger channels. So I feel like we just got to get on the same page, man. We got to be on the same page. Manifest that shit, right? Put it out in the air. Um, your fandom, your fandom is admirable. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Um, Ethan Nielsen, shout out to you, my guy. The Raiders are 0-17 when the opponents outscore them. Oh, wow, that's fucking classic, bro. Classic. Classic. You are hilarious. Damn. Do you do comedy on weeknights? That's a good one, bro. That was good. How about them Jags? Duval. The Duval was the one of the most frightening things I've ever heard in my life. And seeing that you got that goober as a head coach, fucking go Jags, go Jags, bro. Um, oh shit, good catch. Damn, I should play for the Raiders. All right. Another note: the Raiders are 1-9, 1-9 when losing at least one fumble last season, second worst in the NFL. So if the Raiders turn the ball over, they don't recover, right? They get in their heads. They feel like, and this was last year. I said this on a lot of, a lot of game breakdowns when we did film review. I said this a lot. It felt to me like, the Raiders gave up after a turnover, right? The defense. It felt like the defense. No, you're good, man. You're good. It felt like the defense gave up after we turned the ball over. It felt like they didn't trust in our offense, and they felt like our offense had to be perfect. And if once we fumbled or threw an interception, I felt like the defense just folded like a lawn chair. And that's just my take. That's how I felt about it last year. But and Pete Carroll preaches this. Every coach preaches this. You know, the ball is the main thing, right? The ball is the main thing. You have to get it over the little white line in the end zone or get it through the uprights more than the other opponent or you lose. But if you give it to the other opponent, instead of putting points on the board, you're just giving away games, right? And the teams that have the most turnovers, 90% of the time, 98% of the time lose games. The teams that are disciplined, that, that believe in each other and that are actually a cohesive unit and know, all right, we turn the ball over. Let's go get it back for our offense and let them come down and score, right? Don't give up points when you turn the ball over. Are the teams that win? Are we there yet? I feel like we're not. I feel like we're not. We're getting there. We're getting there. But we went from one of the youngest teams in the NFL, third youngest team in the NFL last year, to being like one of the oldest. I think we got a lot of old guys that changed changed it very quickly. All right, and last but not least, the Raiders are winless, 0-9, when tied at the end of the third quarter since 2023, worse than the NFL. So, like I said, the Raiders will win this game if they do this. Don't allow over 100 yards rushing. If they allow over 100 yards rushing, obviously we're going to have to put up more points than the other team. But when they give up that much, it's bad. And you can't give up more than 27 points, which, I think if we give up more than 21 or 24, it's going to be hard for us to win. We don't know what our red zone offense looks like. Are they going to hand it off a lot? Are they going to pass a lot? Are they going to run 13 personnel, 12 personnel when you get inside the red zone to give those big bodies like Mike Mayer, and Brock Bowers the chance to high point balls. Also Dante Thornton, right, with his 6'5", 6'4" frame. But the key point is Geno in the red zone is absolutely horrible. It's proven throughout his career. I'm not being a critic. It's a fact. His turnovers are horrible in the red zone. We have to clean that up. By cleaning it up, I mean we have to run the fucking ball in the red zone. I don't want to see any passing unless it's damn well necessary, right? Maybe at the 20, if somebody's wide open on first down, take a shot. Second down, take a shot. But we get inside the 20, I want to see bootlegs, I want to see handoffs. I want to see end arounds. I don't care. I don't want to see the ball thrown inside the red zone, bro. Rebel Booker gonna surprise some people. Gonna be good run defender. I hope so, Mark Carbone. I really, really hope so. Um, I said the same thing. I feel like he's not, one of those guys that's going to get to the quarterback, that's going to run sideline to sideline and chase quarterbacks down. He's not going to get a lot of pressure. But when it comes to the run game, he's got long arms. He's pretty quick with his get off. And when you have him and Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson on the same defensive line, I think that's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. So I hope you're right, man. I hope Booker surprises a lot of people, and I hope he's a problem. Um, if you didn't watch the presser today, you heard Jonah Lalu talk. We heard Kai Blue Kelly talk. He is healed. He said there's no problems with the hamstring. He is good to go. Let me know right now how you guys feel about Kai Blue Kelly and Eric Stokes being our starting corners. Should it be Darian Porter Jr.? Should it be somebody else? Let me know how y'all feel about that. Shout out for the 18 likes. I appreciate y'all rocking with your guy. But yeah, man, those are my keys to victory. The Raiders cannot give up more than 27 points because I don't know if we're going to score that many. We still have, a lot of people that believe this team is going to score 30 points a game, 34 points a game, 38 points a game. I've heard it all. And that's possible. That is very well possible. After week 6 or 7, possibly week 8, maybe. But we have a lot of young guys in key positions. Offensive line being 1, running back being 2, our number 1 receiver being 3. So, the cornerbacks scare me, to be honest. I know they scare a lot of people, but don't sleep on the ability for Pete Carroll and Marcus Robertson to get the best out of these guys. I guarantee you, look, if I could right now, I would put left and right nut on it. Pete Carroll would not start this season believing he had a problem. Now, could he be wrong in his beliefs in the guys we have? But yes, he can be wrong. He could be wrong. But I don't feel like Pete Carroll would start this season if he didn't feel 100, not 90%, not 92%, not 99%, 100% that these guys can do what he asked them to do, what Patrick Graham asked them to do. That's my take on it. That's how I feel. Now, I know a lot of people, again, are very questionable, and I'm one of those guys, right? I want to see what they can do. I'm not going to go out there and say we have a top 10, a top 15, or even a top 20 defense until they show something. Now, after week 1, you might hear me saying we have a top 10 or a top 15 defense, but right now, I can't say that. The Jags made the worst trade this year by far, set franchise back 4 years to come. What trade was that? Bet if the Jags and Raiders play, the Jags gonna whoop them. Raiders are my second team, but it's the Raiders. Nah, bro. Nah, we got the Jags. We got the Jags. Mark it, book it. Come back and talk to me later when we play. That fucking fighting me. What the hell is fighting me? I think we beat the Jags, man. I think we beat the Jags. I'm not scared. The only thing I'm scared of the Jags is Brian Thomas Jr. I really don't feel like we have anybody that can cover him. Travis Hunter, I feel like we got guys that can cover him. I don't think that's going to be a main problem. I got the Raiders moving cities again, 14 and 18. What? Bro, the Raiders are not ever leaving Vegas. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. This is home. They are not going anywhere. I know Oakland fans don't like it. I know Los Angeles fans don't like it. But you're going to have to get used to the fact that this is home, bro. Unless Mark Davis sells the team. And even then, I don't see them leaving this market. I don't see them leaving this market. They're making so much money. They don't care if there's red jerseys, purple jerseys, or green jerseys every single game. They could care less, man. They're making money hand over fist. And that's all the NFL cares about. All those horrific stats got both coaches fired, so those days are over. They are horrific, bro. They were absolutely horrific. Um, but those stats also held true when John Gruden was the coach, when Bisaccia was the coach. I know what I read said 2023, but I went back and looked at the numbers. And when the Raiders give up 100 yards rushing, we are like 3 and 30 something in the last 5 years. So, you know, absolutely crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. Our defense can't give up third and forever on stupid penalties or piss poor tackling. Appreciate you, Max Ray, for subscribing. Thanks, my guy. It means the world. Um, think we should add an experienced corner, by the way. I mean, I do too, but Pete Carroll seems to think that we have this on lockdown. He trusts these guys, and if Pete Carroll, a coach for 40 years, that's been to 2 Super Bowls, that's won multiple championships in college, if he feels like this defensive backfield is good enough to start the season and rock with, looking at the games we play, because don't think Pete Carroll hasn't looked at every team we play and say, okay, can this guy guard this guy for 4 quarters? Can this guy guard this guy for, can these 2 guys guard this guy for 4 quarters? I know damn well he has. I know damn well he has. Never ever bet on both nuts. Well, at 50 years old, I really don't need them. So all they do is, smack shit. Fucking. So I'm willing to bet both nuts. Raiders and Jags. Bad trade was the move for Travis Hunter. Quarterback, ransom, wide receiver, corner. I feel you. I feel you, Kenna. And I said it before the draft. I said it all before the draft. Travis Hunter in the top 10 is absolutely wild. Like, he was blown up. Mark Carbone, appreciate you with the $4.99. The 5-knuckle shuffle. I appreciate you. Gino needs to take care of the ball and keep the turnovers down this year. That's 1,000% facts. Can he do it? That is the question of the year. Last year, 15 interceptions, 9 fumbles. That's not going to cut it. And I don't want to hear the excuses of the offensive line. He had receivers that you could just throw the ball up and they would go get it. The interceptions were not, running for your life interceptions. A lot of them were bad decision making, and Gino knows it. Gino has talked about it in all of his press conferences. He knows his weaknesses. He knows his strengths. He knows what he has to do to win. And I feel like he can do it, man. I said yesterday, I feel like Gino could have anywhere to 30 to 40 touchdowns this year, which is an awful lot. He's had 30 one time in his career. He had 31 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, I do believe. That was his lowest interception total for all of his career. If he can duplicate that, the Raiders make the playoffs, and they win their first playoff game and their second. I'm calling it right now. Say what you want about our defense. Talk all the shit you want about, whoever said our defense is going to be 31st, 27th, whatever dude said. Has Pete Carroll ever had a defense not ranked in the top 20? I mean, not ranked below the top 20? I'm going to have to look that up. I just don't know how to ask the question. Has Pete Carroll ever had a defense not ranked inside the top 20? Let's see if this works. Pete Carroll has multiple seasons where his defense was not ranked inside the top 20. This occurs particularly in the season in his later years as head coach for Seattle. I've talked about this so many times, bro. So many times. In his later years, his defense has not been as good. Hopefully, he brought in the right pieces. In the later years of the Seahawks. So in the Seahawks, with the Seahawks, is the only time that his defenses have not been ranked inside the top 20. Pete Carroll's defense finished outside the top 20 in yards allowed during these seasons with the Seahawks. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Pete Carroll's last 4 years as a Seattle head coach. Defense finished 22nd. Finished 22nd in defense, DVOA, and last in the AFC in total defense in 2020. 2021, Pete Carroll, the pass defense ranked 31st in the NFL. God, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. I would much rather be wrong, bro. I would much rather be wrong. Now, these are stats that people have to know, right? You have to get to the bottom of this shit because we talked about it. Why was Pete Carroll let go? A guy that's been to 2 Super Bowls, a guy with all the, accolades. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Why did Seattle decide to move on from Pete Carroll? Well, this could very well be the reason, bro. Very well be the reason. 2021, they finished 31st. In 2024, the defense was strategically one of the worst in his entire tenure. 2022, the Seattle defense was the worst in his entire tenure. 2023, the final 3 years of his tenure, including 2023 season, the defense was ranked outside of the top 20 in yards allowed and in 3 of the last 4 years. So, Pete Carroll has come in and changed Patrick Graham's defensive scheme from a 4-2-5 to a 4-3 base defense. He has changed Patrick Graham's scheme, who has been pretty solid, except for stopping the run, to a cover 3 instead of a cover 2. Is this going to be a problem for the Las Vegas Raiders and this season? I believe it could be. I believe it very well could be. So, Pete Carroll having one of the best defenses, possibly of all time, right? Never mind, I'm high. I can't say it right. Wait, what? Every year before the Raiders game 1, I'm thinking 17-0. Think Jamal Adams is gonna make some changing plays this year? I know he is. And like I said, I think he's gonna go up from, I don't know. I think it's gonna go up a lot. He's projected to get less than 50% of the snaps because the position he's playing, mostly on blitz downs, which will be mostly on third down. But like I've said for the last couple of weeks, come week 1, when Jamal Adams gets on the grass, they're gonna realize that he needs to stay on the grass. Don't take him off the grass. I don't care. You could say the sideline is still the grass. It's not the grass. Put him on the field. On the field, in between the white lines, he has to be on the grass. And I don't think you're going to take Jamal Adams out of the game. I think he's going to get probably 60% of the snaps this season, right? I think it's going to be where, he's probably in there. I'd like to say 60 or 70% of the snaps per game. That's my prediction. Because if he's not, we're gonna have cover. We're gonna have problems covering running backs out of the backfield. AP did good last year in his disciplinary on the team penalties, but I believe Carroll will do even better in that regard. I feel that. I feel that. Did you see your super set I sent? Did I not read it? How is your night going? Unleashed. Shout out for the $2 holla. How did I skip that? I'm sorry. I appreciate you, Raider fan. And I got your picture with your T-shirt. Let me know. Let me know how you feel about the shirt. Are you good with it? Do you like it? Are you happy? Um, every year at this time, and we could go 17-0, bro. We could go 17-0. Don't put that past our team. Like, really. I mean, if you think about it, and I made my predictions when I made my predictions, and I said I weren't going to change them. 12-5. That's what I predict us to go. But if you think about it, if this run game gets going with Raheem Mostert, with Zamir White, with Ashton Jeanty, a little bit of Labe here and there, sprinkled in the backfield, running some wheel routes. With Brock Bowers on your team and Jacoby Myers, those should be enough weapons for any team to win a lot of games. I mean, seriously. If Geno Smith doesn't turn the ball over, like we've talked about, those are enough weapons for anybody, any good quarterback with a decent offensive line and a decent offensive coordinator and head coach to win a lot of football games. Now, you throw in the fact that Michael Mayer is, not Brock Bowers, but he's not far off. He just hasn't got the ball as many times as Brock Bowers. But I don't see him drop passes, right? I see him make explosive plays when he gets the ball. And when you have a Michael Mayer and a Brock Bowers and an Ian Thomas, that's a difference maker. We're projected to have the fourth best tight end room in all of football, with a quarterback that's never had a tight end like any three of those, like any of those. So I think that's going to be a huge, huge factor. And then you throw in the fact that in 12 personnel, which a little birdie has told me, don't be surprised if the Raiders are in 12 and 13 personnel close to 50% of the time. Not over, but close. Close. Go Raiders. Shout out to my guy Kevin. What's good? Appreciate you. Raiders. I was just about to read something and everything disappeared. What the flip happened? Oh, there we go. I love my fucking Raiders. Win, lose, tie, or cry. Raiders till I die, mofos. Raiders. You know it. You know it. Brock Bowers. Y'all want to see the back of the Brock Bowers jersey? Can y'all see it? Boom, boy. That's all I get. That's all you get. That's all you get. But yeah, man, Raiders till you die. We already know. We already know. I bleed silver and black, man. I love this team, and I'm tired of having bad years. And I don't want to be that content creator that's gassed everybody up. And I don't care if y'all hate on me. I don't give a fuck. But I don't want to gas everybody up and have everybody in their feelings, if this team isn't what it's supposed to be. However, I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I really don't. Like I said, Brock Bowers, Ashton Jeanty, it's going to be it's going to be way different than last year, right? Our targets do not drop passes. They have ridiculous yards after the catch. And then, even if you decide to double, go ahead and double Brock Bowers. That's fine. That's fine. Because when you double Brock Bowers, appreciate you. Y'all go check out the channel. Link is pinned in the bottom. So, yeah, man. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. The Raiders have not had a receiving threat like Dante Thornton ever. 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 Matter of fact, no team in the NFL has had a receiving threat like, damn, like Dante Thornton Jr. ever, except for two. except for two. Two teams. The Lions. Who was the other one? I don't know. Let me know if you know in the comments below. Um, Raiders. You love it? Nice. The merch is sick. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked out the merch, you should go. He sent me my shirt. Nice, nice. I'll post pictures on it. I'll send it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you dropping the link. Yeah, y'all go check it out. Cop some gear before the season starts. We got some shit for some old men, right? You know, real men wear black. Old men rock silver. If you're an old man, want a shirt like that, says commitment to excellence on the front, check out the merch, bro. Go check out the merch. Help your guy make it to some Raider games. Raider Nation is gonna hate me for this, but the AFC West predictions, the AFC West predictions with records. What? What are you talking about? Where do we check out the merch? The link is pinned in the bottom. Link is pinned in the bottom. Oh, you got it? Sweet. I'm way behind. My bad. I'm catching up. Damn it, I can't type for the life of me. Well, gotta learn how to spell, college boy. Before, nice, appreciate you. For real, Rebel. I thought you were representing Cooper. Sorry, I have a problem with Cooper having his cowgirl number 19 coming back. I wish I was repping Cooper, but no, it's the Brock Bowers. You know, I don't have a Cooper, dude. All my jerseys burned up in a house fire. So, Cooper jersey, gone. Woodson jersey, gone. Otto jersey, gone. Howie Long autograph jersey, flames. So, I don't have any of those more. Gino needs respected. Shit. Respect is earned, not given, bro. Respect is earned. Until you make it to the playoffs, win a playoff game, don't turn the ball over 24 times in the season, you're not going to get respected. And when that happens, I will give Gino all the respect on the planet. I've given him way more respect than I think I should have. Saying he's going to throw for, 30 to 40 touchdowns this year, have under 15 interceptions. So I've given him hella credit and hella respect. He earned it back in 2022. What? In 2022, where he had one good year in 11 years of the NFL? Come on, man. Stop with that. Stop with that. Look, Gino is a damn good quarterback. Gino is a better quarterback under Pete Carroll. But Gino had one good year with 30 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. After that, the touchdowns dropped, the interceptions dropped. If you watch film, bro, he's top 8. If you watch film, bro, and you tell me he's top 8, I will never listen to anything you ever say again in your life. Because I watch a lot of film. A lot of film. I break down film on this channel. I watch film constantly. I watch the All 22, I don't know how many times until my eyes bled. Watching Gino turn the ball over in the red zone. Watching him run for his life when he's supposed to be mobile. Sideline to sideline instead of running upfield. So, Shane is the man. Gino is a damn good quarterback. But top 8, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Crazy to me. Now, does he have a chance to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? Yes. You have absolutely every chance possible to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL with the weapons he has, with the offensive line he has, right? If they're 17th like they're, predicted to be, come on. Shane Waldron and Ryan Glove aren't employed anymore for a reason. I get you, bro. I know, I get it. But Chip Kelly right? Chip Kelly has a damn good offense, dual threat, gonna run a lot of 12 personnel, gonna protect his quarterback, gonna get the ball out fast. So Gino has all the opportunity, like I said, to prove, you know, for all the people that wrote him off, to right back. Prove you're a top 10 quarterback. Fucking prove it to me, please. Please, God, please, please. Do I have to get on my knees and beg? Because I will. Please, God, Gino, prove you are a top 10 quarterback. Because if he is, there's no way we don't make the playoffs. There's no way. There is no way. So, I want him to be top 10. But to say he is right now, bro, you got to be smoking some good ass crack. Not even weed, because weed don't get you that delusional, right? Um, it's just no way he's top 8, bro. There's no way. It's not even possible. Um, Raiders prediction 2005 record, the respect we deserve. Finally, um, um, and you gain respect. You lose, the same remains, right? Let's up the record. Let's up the coaching and Gino. Excited for the Raiders season for sure. I'm excited too, man. I'm excited. We have coaches in the building. We have discipline in the building. We have a blueprint in the building for winning, right? We have a philosophy. We have a team that will do everything. And you could ask any player on this roster. There is nothing that they will not do. There is nothing they won't do for Pete Carroll. And when you have your players that will lay down their life for their head coach, when you have players like Max Crosby that can take over a game anytime he wants to, like with the snap of a fingers. Carbone, I appreciate you with the 5-knuckle shuffle again, man. Appreciate you. What's your stats prediction on Genty? I'll get to that in a second. But, you know, when you have a team that all they talk about is Pete Carroll's energy, how they have to match Pete Carroll's energy, right? How they're going to do everything in their power. I heard a player today say, in a press conference, say, we've been told to play every single snap like it's the Super Bowl. Not game one, not preseason, not a playoff game that we haven't won since 2002. Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth for saying that. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, man, when you have a coach, a team that is willing to lay it all on the line, I feel like people are underestimating how quick the turnaround can be. And when you look at the Washington Commanders from last year, I keep going back to this. I'm wearing another man's name on my back. Yeah, it's a football jersey. What do you mean? But whatever I was saying, I forgot. Y'all need Tyree Wilson to take the next step. Oh, come on, bro. We need Tyree Wilson to take 5 next steps. It's not 1. Come on. Stop playing. Record prediction for Ashton Genty. That's hard, man. It's hard. That's what she said. For a couple reasons, right? What is Raheem Mostert going to be? Is Raheem Mostert going to be a guy that when he touches the ball, he has big plays? And they're like, damn, maybe we need to feed this guy more, right? He's a veteran. He's a guy that had 21 flipping touchdowns in one single season. Is Zamir White going to be a guy you can rely on in third down, short yardage situations? Is Zamir White going to be a guy that you can rely on in goal line situations, right? Pete Carroll said he wants Zamir White to be the hammer. Can he be that hammer? So if Zamir White is the hammer, that means he's taking carries away from Ashton Genty on third down, on goal line situations, right? Raheem Mostert could be taken away. So I hate to make predictions and put, a lot on players' shoulders, but I'm going to. that I'm going to. There's a lot that rides on it. And for me, I feel if you're a sixth round pick, you have to have over 1,000 yards. There's just no, if you're healthy, right? If you're healthy. Now, if you play in 17 games, you have to have over 1,000 yards. Now, what is that? Like 80, 65 yards a game, 70 yards a game? I don't know off the top of my head. But that's completely doable. That's absolutely completely doable. So, um, I'm gonna say it has to be over 1,000. If he carries the ball 15 times or more a game, I think you're right. 12. I say 12 or 13. I think I said 13 and a half. My prediction a couple weeks ago, or shit, 2 months ago when we were drafted him. I was making predictions as soon as he was drafted. So, 1,200 yards, 700 receiving would be absolutely astronomical, bro. I would be tickled pink, inside and out. I'm not gonna lie. If he could put up those numbers, I'd be great. I think with Raheem Mostert receiving the ball a lot, I think with Dylan Labe being back there, I know we've seen a lot of Ashton Genty catching the ball out of the backfield in the preseason. 700, I'd be great with. I'd say I'm thinking more like under 4. I'm thinking under 4. I don't think he's going to be a primary receiver as much as we think, right? So I'm gonna say about 1,300 yards and four four to 500 yards receiving. That's my prediction. And if he gives us that, we're definitely winning more than 9 games. I will say that. Raiders are considered one of the worst teams in franchise history. What the man? You talking crazy talk? We got 3 Super Bowls, bro. What do you mean? A soul like that will never make a comeback. So stop playing, bro. Stop playing. First off, I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, we've lost like 242 games, most in the NFL over the last 20 years. I get it. But watch how many games we win this year, next year, and the year after, and the year after that if Pete Carroll sticks around. But in the next 3 years, you're going to see the Raiders win a whole lot of games. I promise you that. This team is going to make a complete change around. And to say that we're one of the worst teams in franchise history is crazy, bro. It's crazy. That's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. You have teams like so many teams that have never even won a Super Bowl, right? Yes, we get high and let our government take take out our petty issues. Raider Nation currently stands on business. Stop interrupting. Facts. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate you. OMG is the Super Bowl are from the 80s. LOL. It doesn't matter where they're from, right? Every team has ups and downs. The Raiders just happen to be one of those teams that started off, their shit in the NFL with John Madden, with Flores. They won a crazy amount of games, right? If it wasn't for those wins in the 60s and 70s and 80s, we might be the worst team in the NFL. but those, just because we've had a big downfall, does not mean we're not going to turn it around, right? If you look at history, the Kansas City Chiefs, right? They were good in the 60s. It took them 30 years before they are where they are now. So never say never, bro. Never say never. It just takes the right amount of money, the right coaches, with the right system and the right blueprint, which we have, the right management, which we have, the right players, which we have. So the Raiders are Super Bowl bound, bro. I'm telling you. I know there's a lot of good teams in the NFL. I know there's a lot of up and coming good teams in the NFL. There's a lot of teams that might have better quarterbacks, that might have better offensive line. But do they have 2 of the most best positions, tight end and running back, better than us? Not a lot of teams do. So we're on the comeback, bro. We're on the comeback. And I almost said something that probably would have got me banned from life on this shit. Won't make it to one Super Bowl. I believe we win one in the next 4 years. Write it down. Book it. Google it. What do I gotta Google? Google don't know everything. Google, are you one of the Raiders' worst teams in the NFL? Bro, I don't. I just told you, we have one more win than the Cleveland Browns in the last 20 years. 242 losses, I do believe it is. Don't correct me if I'm not exactly spot on. No, dude, that's not facts. Fucking clown. Your mom's a clown, bro. Who the fuck you calling a clown, boy? Better watch your tongue in here. There are no clowns in here except for you trying to prove facts that aren't facts. The Raiders are not one of the worst teams in franchise history. The Chargers, who never won a Super Bowl, could be one of the worst teams in franchise history. The Detroit Lions. Come on, man, stop. Stop with that. Go somewhere. Go somewhere. But I appreciate you participating. Cincinnati got the first playoff win in 21 years. First the Raiders. Yeah. Derek Carr threw an interception. It wasn't their first playoff win in 20 years. Wasn't that the game before the Super Bowl? Like, wasn't the AFC Championship? Or maybe a game before that? So, it wasn't their first playoff win to us, bro. Know your facts. Never say never. Cali will never make a comeback. They're not in Cali, bro. Where are you from? Where are you from? You must be from Utah, bro. Damn. They're not in Cali anymore. They're in Vegas. So I hope Cali never does make a comeback, because that means the Chargers, the 49ers, the Rams, and whoever else plays out there will not make a comeback. So we're good. Psh, yeah. Psh, psh, fuck up. The Raiders' all-time wins are 15. Are 15th in the NFL. Facts. Thank you, Gio. Joe Burr. The fuck, Joe Burr? What the hell is Joe Burr? That's almost as stupid as Duvall. Say it otherwise. Cincinnati will rock the Raiders and whoever else wants some. Okay, Cincinnati ain't rocking shit but a boat. Y'all got $650 million in tied up in 3 fucking players. What are you ever gonna win, bro? What are you ever gonna win in Cincinnati? Second of all, the Raiders don't play the Cincinnati Bengals unless it's gonna be in the playoffs. And when we do play you in the playoffs, if it comes down to that, y'all ain't got a chance. Y'all ain't got a chance. I know you got 2 of the best receivers in the NFL. Don't matter. Don't matter. Go somewhere. Tampa Bay has the worst win-loss record in the NFL. Facts. Facts. It was like 25 years they never made a playoff team, and they never won over like 5 or 6 games. So the Raiders are far, far from the worst team in history, bro. You don't win 3 Super Bowls and be the worst team in NFL history. Crazy talk. The Raiders are one of the worst teams in history. No, they're not. Aiden O'Connell, what's good, man? How's the wrist doing? You got surgery? Everything good? I need to get you on the show. Cincinnati, what? First win in 20-something years was the first playoff game in 2022 season. I thought... Oh, you're right. You're right. We didn't win a playoff game. You're right. You're right. My bad. You're right. You're right. My bad. I apologize. You're right. We haven't won a playoff game since 2022, so it was not... It was the first game. And you're welcome, because if you didn't beat us, you probably would have never made the Super Bowl and lost. The shitty Atlanta Falcons would beat the shit out of the Raiders? Come on, bro. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. The Falcons got a damn good defense. They are not a shitty team. They have an up-and-coming quarterback and Michael Penix, however you say it. But beat the shit out of the Raiders. You're wild, bro. You wild. I got $100 that says no team in the NFL this year beats the shit out of the Raiders. And by beats the shit out of, I mean by 14 points or more. The Raiders do not lose any game this year by 14 points or more. Write it down, mark it, book it, put it in a fucking envelope, save it in a safe, do whatever you have to do. I guarantee you, we do not get smoked by more than 2 touchdowns this year. And if we do, I'll buy you a beer. The Edmonton Elks would absolutely dust the Raiders. Not even, shut up. Fuck up. This night is getting worse and worse. F my life. I can't wait until Sunday. Why is your night getting worse and worse? What did you do now? What problem can the great Candy Angel possibly have? What problem could you possibly have? Hold on, time out. Give me a second. Ow. Y'all got to listen to the crickets and the bugs in the building. Trixie Blue, what's good? Appreciate you dropping in, gracing us with your presence. It is always better when you are in the building. I'll tell you when you are off of here. Okay. Not real talk, bro. NFL players struggle versus the CFL rules. What's that got to do with anything? Wait, what? I mean, yeah, CFL rules are a little bit different than the NFL. So I can see them struggling. But I mean, if you're good enough to make it to the CFL and then make it to the NFL, then you shouldn't struggle for long. Shane Gills would whip the shit out of John Gills. Oh, shit. All right, man. So, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I gotta stand back up to stretch my back. Good lord. And I gotta pee, so I gotta get off here soon. All right, so after all the beautiful, wonderful, lovely stats that I gave y'all, Raiders. Do you feel any better or any more confident about the game on Sunday at 10 a.m.? If you don't, let me give you a little bit more tidbits that I have. Pete Carroll, since 2000 and forgot 7. I got to count backwards. Hold on. Since 2000 and the fuck 16, 18. I don't know what it is. I think since 2018. Yes, we will win. No. What do you mean? No, you don't feel better. All right. Well, let this little tidbit sink in. The Las Vegas Raiders. Well, not the Las Vegas Raiders, but Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll in morning games on opening day is 8-0 in the last 8 years. 8-0. Wait, maybe 10-0. It might be 10. I might have just fucking butchered that. We're gonna win, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous too because I just found out that Travion Henderson is starting. Oh my god. So we have a new a new key to victory. And that key to victory is stop Travion Henderson. Stop Travion Henderson. I know he's a rookie. I know he's a rookie. He's Travion Henderson. Look, I had Travion Henderson being the most complete back in the out of college this year. I would have took him 6th overall. I literally would have took him 6th overall. A lot of people said I was crazy, but they said we were crazy for taking Ashton Genty. He was a first round pick. He is definitely a first round pick. The guy is explosive with the ball in his hands. He's explosive without the ball in his hands. He can block. He can pass. His pass protection is nasty. His speed is something that a Landon Roberts, Jermaine Pratt, and Devin White cannot handle sideline to sideline. So they're gonna have to possibly pull their starters and put in young guys like Tommy freaking Eichenberg, right? Our Brendan Jackson that we just got. Because these guys are better in pass coverage. They're going to have to play Jamal Adams an awful lot. An awful lot. Way more. He's going to work his ass off and he's going to get hurt. Don't predict that on nobody, bro. That's just fucked up. Oh, shit. He's a running back and a rookie O-line 2nd year. Yeah, that's the key right there. But this is my problem. I don't see him being a problem in the run game. I mean, he's going to be a problem anywhere. But I see him being a bigger problem in the pass game because our linebackers cannot cover. And when you can't cover and you're trying to win games and you're a genius, and I hate to say this, you're a genius like Josh McDaniels because as a head coach, he sucks. As an offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels is nasty, bro. He's nasty. He's going to pick teams apart if you give him the opportunity. He's going to take advantages of weaknesses. And our biggest weaknesses is linebacker coverage. And then corner coverage. And then our biggest weakness on top of those two is tackling. When you put all three of those together and you put Travion Henderson catching the ball on screens, our wheel routes with an accurate quarterback like Drake May, man, it's going to be a problem. So like I said, the Raiders win if we stop them from rushing over 100 yards. If we don't, it's going to be a problem. Tyler Brewer, the Broncos are going to be a problem. They are going to be a problem. They have probably a top 10 defense, if not a top 5 defense. But they have some issues on offense, right? They're not a team that scores 30 points a game. I don't know what they averaged last year. I want to say like 19 points a game or something. So, you know, we have an offense that has a lot of weapons. We have a head coach that is very brilliant. We have an offensive coordinator that used to be a head coach that won a Super Bowl as a head coach. So giving him time to dissect these teams for 7 days before we play them is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I think we should use Labe in a Danny Woodhead. 100%, man. 100%. Shout out to you. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, if we use him like that with Ashton Genty, with Zamir White, man, this team is going to be hard to stop. It's going to be hard to stop. If they run Henderson 20 times or more, plus special teams, that's too much of a load for a rookie in any position. I feel that. They do have him listed as their starting kick returner and punt returner. So maybe they take that away from him, being that he's got to get a lot of carries. But they do have 2 other good backs over there. So I don't know if he's out for the game or, just not ready to go, or they just moved, him to the starting position. Those are things I don't know yet. Like I said, I just found this out a little bit ago. But I agree 100%. 20 carries as a rookie and kickoff return, punt return duties is a lot to ask. That's why I'm hoping Ashton Genty has 8 to 10 carries and maybe 5 catches. We got to give him more than that, man. He's got to have. If the Raiders want to win this game, I feel like he's got to have close to 20 touches. Close to 20. He's going to have to be a big, big part of this offense. Their defense, their offensive line and their linebackers are damn good tacklers. So the only way you beat damn good tackling is to wear them out, right? If you can wear them out in the fourth quarter, Ashton Genty is going to eat, I feel. In every game, not just this game. I feel like every game. Did you know that Warren Moon played for Edmonton? So don't sleep on the Elks. I did know Warren Moon played there. And shout out to Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers. Used to be one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. I always wanted him to be a Raider, but, it is what it is. Broncos are going to be a problem. Henderson runs 5 times. We keep this off season. I keep saying I'm not going to be on here for 2 hours, and it just never works. It just never works. Genty will definitely get 20 carries. I don't know about 20. I don't know about 20 because I think Raheem Mostert, and I believe that this coaching staff has a lot more faith than a lot of Raider fans in Zamir White. And I think Zamir White, I'm going to say 5, 6, 7 touches. I'm going to say easily. I think Zamir White gets some touches. So, I don't think they're going to throw Ashton Genty into the mix. I think a lot more like Gio Meck said. I don't think, 8 carries is enough. I think it's got to be over 15. I think if he gets somewhere between 15 and 20 carries a game, he can average close to 100 yards on that. And if he can do that, then I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer will have about 20 targets combined. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Damn. Okay. If that happens, we win this game. I'll call it right now. I'll put money on that shit. If Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer have 20 receptions between the two of them, we win this game. Because if Brock Bowers touches the ball 10 times, that's close to 100 yards. If he touches it 12 times, that's easily 100 yards and probably a touchdown and maybe 2. If you give Michael Mayer 8 to 10 catches, he's going to have numbers, right? Now, most of the time they pass to Michael Mayer, it's like 10 yards, 5-yard outs, right, when they need first downs. So I don't think he's going to have big numbers. But I think they're going to be plays that are going to be first downs, right? Continuing the drive plays. And I think Michael Mayer is going to be that guy. When you need to continue a drive, you go to the big dog that's 260 pounds, that all you got to do is, get a little push off the line if they're playing press or man on you. And if they're not, then you only got to go 5 yards, turn around, catch the ball, and run another 10 or 15 because he's hard to tackle. So if they get 20 carries between them, man, that'll be great. Mark Carbone says 20 carries, 110 yards for Ashton Genty. If the Raiders rush for over 100 yards, we win this football game. Have you seen the video of the Raiders made about Lackey Tassie? Yes, I did see a video about Lackey Tassie, and I've talked about Lackey Tassie on this channel an awful lot. I feel like, as much as he's learned in the little bit of time that he's been out, in the NFL, compared to the rugby scene, it's leaps and bounds, right? And if he continues to learn at that accelerated pace, I believe he starts a game this year. I believe Lackey Tassie, there could be a game that he ends up starting, whether it's, injuries, sickness, or, somebody just struggling. I know he's on the second unit or on the practice squad right now, but it's not going to be for long, bro. It's not going to be for long. I think when you're 6'8", 340 pounds, and you move as big, as fast as Lackey Tassie does, you just gotta get the rhythm of the game. You gotta know the playbook, and you gotta be able to read defenses, because being a guard, if you're a guard in the NFL, you gotta be able to call out plays. That's a big part of being a guard. And that was a big reason they moved Jordan Meredith to the center position, is because JPJ wasn't vocal enough. He wasn't calling out plays. Maybe he didn't know the plays because he doesn't know the defenses yet, because he's only started in a handful of games. Let's be honest. Jordan Meredith has started in more games than JPJ, and obviously they liked him because of him being able to call plays, to read defenses. So obviously he's good at that, and I think that's huge for us. um, but again, Lackey Tassie, bro, Lackey Tassie is going to be a monster. He's going to be a monster for this team. You can't move mountains, and that dude is a mountain. That thing was pretty sick. Yeah, it was pretty good. Genty will have less carries and a higher average, around 8.5 per carry. Preach that truth. Preach that truth. If we get that, bro, I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I'm saying the video quality was great. Oh, I don't know. You will have a second most sacks behind Max. Who will have the second most sacks behind Max? I could see a possible scenario where Malcolm Kuntz could have more sacks than Max Crosby this year. He's going to get double teamed, right? He's going to get triple teamed. He's going to get clipped. And if you let Malcolm Kuntz eat one-on-one, there's not too many tackles that can stop him one-on-one. So if Max Crosby is the leader, I would say Malcolm Kuntz. I would say Malcolm Kuntz second. I would like to say Tyree Wilson, but yeah, go check out the Lackey Tassie video. It talks about his family, where he's from, his life, transferring over from the rugby scene to the NFL. And the dude is amazing, bro. He's absolutely amazing. The video's on Raiders.com. It was pretty cool. Definitely will check it out. Thanks for sure. Kuntz going to get 8 to 10 sacks. I hope he gets more than that. I hope he gets more than that. He's a guy that missed last year. He has a chip on his shoulder. And, we heard him talk. He said he's coming out the gates hot, right? He's not holding back. He's not worried about getting about injury. That's not even in his mind. He wants to help this team win. And if we get the best out of Malcolm Kuntz, it's going to be a problem. I think Malcolm could have anywhere from 8 to 14 sacks. He's like being double teamed. Hello, you have to double team him. Tyree Wilson will have 11 sacks. Geomex, I hope everything you say happens, bro. I swear to God, if everything you predict happens, we win the Super Bowl, bro. We win the Super Bowl. If Tyree Wilson has 11 sacks on this defensive line, we definitely make it to the playoffs, and we definitely win a playoff game. I will call that right now. No doubt in my mind, bro. If Tyree has double-digit sacks, this is a playoff team. It's absolutely a playoff team. I like Kuntz, but like Carr, will his injury have an effect? I don't think so, because his injury wasn't like Carr's. It was a fluke accident. He was coming off the field when he tore his knee. There was reports that he could have played through the season, but he didn't want to risk, injuring it more. So I don't feel like that's the case, right? If you watch the interview, go watch the interview with him today. They interviewed him. They asked him about the knee, and he said if his trainers told him he could run through a brick wall, he would try to run through a brick wall. He said all his trainers have told him he's absolutely good. He should have no problem. So he said that's how he's, starting the season. And he's believing in his trainers, and he's going to go out and give it 110%. So he said he's not even thinking about it. He said the most thing that's in his mind is getting on the grass. He's thought about it every day since the injury, and he can't wait to get on the field on Sunday. So when you have a Malcolm Kuntz with that mentality and that focus and mindset, he could be a very big problem this year. A very big problem. Who is our best wide receiver? Does Brock Bowers count? Because if it's not Brock Bowers, it's easily Jacoby Myers. Easily Jacoby Myers. Wilson will be way better this year for sure. I feel you. I predict that too. A lot of Raider fans, a lot of content creators, a lot of media have given up on Tyree Wilson and, you know, drug him through the mud. Um, I feel like this is his year. I think the NFL slowing down. I think he's speeding up, and I think, you know, he kind of is getting in the back of his mind that he belongs here and he can do it. And, you know, once he puts it all together, bro, Tyree Wilson is going to be unstoppable. Um, who is the best wide receiver? I got to that. Um, Trey Tucker, man. I predict Trey Tucker to possibly have over 100 yards in this game and a touchdown. Now, I did predict that Ashton Jeanty would have a rushing touchdown and Brock Bowers, but I'm going to go away from Brock Bowers, and I think Trey Tucker. I say Trey Tucker has a touchdown in his first 100-yard game as a Raider. I'm calling it now. That is my prediction. Watch out for Trey Tucker, and the reason being, you have to pay attention to Jacoby. You have to pay attention to Brock Bowers. You have to pay attention to the run game. They don't have enough corners, and with their safeties being injured and Christian Gonzalez being hurt, it's a Trey Tucker day. It's a Trey Tucker day. So, if you're a betting man, Trey Tucker over 100 yards and a touchdown, book it. I'm going to read these last comments, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. Wilson will have a way better. Should we have picked Renfro? Yes, we should have signed Renfro. But I feel like they're happy with the receivers we have, and signing them to a practice squad would have been a slap in the face, and I don't think the Raiders wanted to do that. So shout out to the Panthers. They got a real one, and he's going to be a problem this year. He definitely wanted Renfro, was always talking about yeah. Hunter Renfro was my dog, bro. Third and Renfro. You can't stop third and Renfro. He's a first down machine. Like Renfro, I'm concerned about Cooper taking hits. He got knocked out a few times. If Cooper is 100%, we can easily be our best reliever. I feel that. And, you know, they got him listed behind Jacoby Myers as second team. Thanks again for the shirt, Unleashed. Hey, I'm glad you like it, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you liking it. If you wasn't happy, I was gonna be pissed. but glad you're good with it. So yeah, Trey Tucker I think is gonna be a dog. And don't sleep on Coop. I think Cooper has over 50 yards in this game. I'm gonna call that too. I think he has 3 or 4 catches. Averages about 12 yards a catch. That's my prediction for him. Jeremy Chin is going to be a beast. Jeremy Chin is going to knock some people's heads off in the middle. And he's got to make up for our linebackers not being able to cover. And if he could do that, I think we're good to go. But, man, I love y'all. I appreciate you rocking with your guy. I got to get off here. Much love. Stay tuned. I will be live tomorrow. I will be live, I don't know, Friday, possibly Saturday. And, of course, Sunday for, pregame, after the game. GeoMex, I sent you a message. I don't know if you got it or not. Let me know which day you want to pull up. If anybody else wants to pull up on the channel, hit me up. My email is in everything. It's all over. So if y'all want to pull up on the channel, just hit me up. Mark Carbone, I appreciate you for keeping the lights on in the building, keeping this channel rolling. Also, my favorite person, Raider fan for life, I appreciate you. GeoMex, I appreciate you. I appreciate all my followers. I appreciate everybody that is a paid member of this channel. And there will be more content coming through the season. I'm going to get it together, I promise y'all. So you will get your money's worth. Also, if you want to check out the merch, it's in the right here, right there. Swing over there, check it out. If you're a paid member to the channel, you get 15% off. So for a limited time, or no, forever, not for a limited time, all you gotta do is be a member. But when your membership ends, your 15% off ends. So much love, appreciate y'all. Raiders, peace. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental. And if you ever need to talk, my number is in the community post. Peace. Love y'all.